Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lamar Gafford,
This is Robert Brown.
and we're back here with the Gafford and Brown Show, our fourth episode. We tried to have one last week. We couldn't get it out of the way and stuff because, well, obviously we're working people and all that stuff. But at least we're back here today, and we have a huge show today. We're going to be talking about the NFL, and we're going to be talking about college football. But right off the bat, we're also going to talk about the World Series, and we're also going to talk about the NBA preview this week. Um, let's just start things off with the World Series. Did you get a chance to see any of the ALCS or the NLCS, Rob?
Yeah, I got to catch the email here. I saw some of last night's game, which was pretty much lopsided if anybody got the chance to see it. San Francisco handled up, deal with it. A lot of people thought they were going to do it against the Cardinals. But you got to give the Cardinals props. I mean, they're a great franchise. I mean, they lost LaRussa, they lost Pujols, and they made it right back to the NLCS, almost to the World Series. So hats off to the Cardinals on a great season. Giants just got the better of them, and we're on our way to a great World Series. Hopefully, this will go 7 games. And if I had to pick a team right now, I think I would go with Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
feel
who you got in the World Series, Lamar?
well, I feel you on this one. I think I'm going to go ahead and say Detroit's going to win. Detroit's going to take it. I mean, I would love to see it. I would actually love to see the story for them to, win the World Series. Given basically the economic impact that Detroit has had, I just would love to see them win the World Series and stuff. I was kind of rooting for them a little bit in 2006 when they made it to the World Series against the Cardinals, and they almost pulled it out, but they couldn't get a chance to. Here's a crazy thing about this World Series, though. It's amazing that the Tigers and the Giants have been playing for over 100 years in Major League Baseball, and yet this is the first time they get a chance to play in the World Series.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean it's just so crazy. I mean they've won so many World Series. I think the Tigers have won like six. I think the Giants. I know the Giants have won six, but I think the Tigers have won somewhere around. I think three, four, five, somewhere like that. And it's just crazy that this is the first time these two teams have got a chance to play against each other in the World Series. I mean, it has a real old timey feel to it. These are traditional teams that you like to see, and they also have two very good pitchers. What are you looking for in this World Series, Rob?
I guess I'm looking at this system, man, because both teams deliver in that department. Also, the offense is pretty well. I mean, Dakota has Cabrera, Prince Fielder, and San Francisco. They have an offense that can go. So I'm assuming we're going to see a couple games where we see a lot of runs, and we're also going to get some games where we get that 1-1 game and 1-2. So you get the best of both worlds with these teams, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, let's talk about the LCS, and as you had touched on earlier about the Cardinals. I mean, like you said, props off to them, hats off to them. I just found it so crazy that they were up 3 games to 1, and yet they had a chance to close it out in any of the last 3 games, and they couldn't do it. And they were actually dominated in the last few games of the in the last 2 games of the NLCS. Actually dominated in the last 3 games when they needed to try to get a win. But what would you take out of the Cardinals season this year?
Well, I just think that even they had a couple of injuries, a couple of setbacks, but then they played. I mean, they choked at the game when they could have closed out. But that's how it goes sometimes. Last year they had a couple of close ones. I mean, they could have finished Texas last year in the World Series. But last how it goes, they'll be back. They're a great team, great franchise. You can't count them out. Great pitchers and Carpenter and Verlander. I mean, not Verlander, but Carpenter and they'll be back.
Los?
Huh?
Kyle Los?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything. So,
Yeah.
they have a lot to hang their hat on.
And we gotta have to give them props. I mean, like you said, because of the season, they lost LaRussa and they lost LaRussa and they lost Pujols, and it's just nobody expected them to be back, and they came back and all that. Now on the AL side, man, the Yankees they found themselves in a sweep against Detroit, and now it seems like they have a lot of questions right now for them, and especially with uh, Alex Rodriguez having being benched for a few games in the postseason, and it's just so crazy about that one right there. Do you think A Rod's gonna get a chance to stay with the Yankees next year?
That contract is going to be hard to chop around. That's too much money for a lot of franchises to take on. I mean, granted, you're going to have a team or two that's interested just because it's Alex Rodriguez and he's a big draw. And, he still got talent left at 37, but he'll be foolish to take on that contract. I would. He's going to stay a Yankee. The problem with the Yankees is they have a problem with rebuilds. The Yankees never want to rebuild. They retool, but they don't rebuild. And that's the problem. You can't keep resting on just uploading, just picking branded players or throwing money at your problem. You're going to have to fix it. And with the Yankees just have too many old players with too many big contracts and not enough youth. That's the problem with the Yankees. And that's another thing with the Yankees. They're arrogant. The Yankees they think they can get any good player, put them on the team, and success is going to happen. And that just doesn't happen all the time, especially in today's baseball world, where you could get, a couple top prospects, pull them from the minors, plug them into a system, and build from there. The Yankees don't believe in that, and that's why they're in a drought right now.
Exactly. You have to have that. It's like you have to have a good balance of experience, but you also have to have that good balance of youth and stuff, just to make things exciting and everything. I mean, as you pointed out, Yankees are kind of old right now, and it's like they have they. Is the sad thing is they can do it. They throw a lot of money though at their problems, and sometimes it works. Sometimes the pieces do work, but then again, sometimes the pieces don't really work, and it's just sometimes it can end up in a horrible way like this year, where they get swept by a team that was pretty much better than them actually.
Right. And,
So
hopefully, the playoffs are always interesting when you have the Yankees involved in it. This is one of those teams that when you think of postseason play, when you think of big time games, that's the Yankees. So they're going to be bad. They're always going to be there in contention in some type of way. But if they want to win another World Series or win a string of World Series, like we did in the '90s and the early 2000s, they're going to have to put a lot of money, a lot of time into their younger players and build from there. Because they're in Jeter last year, the contract, he's not getting any younger. He's 38. Alex Rodriguez is 37. Each year old is older. They have a lot of older players, and it's just time now to think about building towards the future.
exactly. I mean, if they could just find that good young player, and hopefully they have somebody in like maybe their farm system. I mean, I remember years ago that look at how Robinson Cano basically turned out. I mean he was a very good player from their farm system. He's actually a homegrown Yankee, I think, and he actually, and look at how good he's turning out. But he's just one of those players that's basically entering to his prime of his career, while everybody else is like older and everything like that. So they need to really start doing that back up, because it's basically what had started their dynasty in the first place. And well, they really need pitching. They really need a few more things and stuff. So hopefully they could just get that out of the way and everything like that. Also, it looks like the Red Sox got themselves a new coach.
Yeah, they do, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be. I think they have order now. I think they're going to be able to regroup and rebuild and get back to the postseason. And they're a franchise with a big payroll as well, so they're probably able to get another free agent in. Josh Hamilton is a Texas free agent. A lot of people will be looking at. A lot of people see him going to the Yankees. I can see him going anywhere. For anybody that pays him the most money,
Hmm.
so that's that. Where do you see Boston going after this hire?
I really think that they could do pretty well. I mean, John Farrell is the guy who the Boston Red Sox hired. He really knows that division pretty well since his days with him being in Toronto, and I think he was a Red Sox coach as well, like one of the bench coaches and stuff as well. He knows. I think he knows the division pretty well. He knows what it takes to do well. The one thing that he needs to do is just try to get that clubhouse. You saw what happened with Bobby Valentine last year. He really didn't quite get the clubhouse last year, and really didn't quite get, you know, didn't quite get the whole clubhouse to buy into the system. And next thing you know, you see the Red Sox losing over 90 games last year. So what he really needs to do is, if he can get the clubhouse, I believe they'll be back right there competing for maybe, if not the AL East, at least one of the wild card spots, because they definitely have the talent to do that.
Right. So, baseball is baseball. This is my favorite time of year. You have the World Series going on. You have basketball starting. You have the NFL getting into the meat of its schedule. It's a great time for sports. These are my favorite times of the year.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's one of my favorite times of the year as well. As we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a commercial break, we're going to try to get a little bit into our big NBA preview as well. We're going to talk about the East, talk about the West, and maybe also the awards and who probably is going to go ahead and win everything else. This is the Gafford and Brown Show. We will be right back in 30 seconds. We're back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gafford and Brown Show. Uh, like we said, and as we were talking about, uh, this is a good time of year here. Like we said, the World Series, we just got done talking about that preview. But this is also a good time here, based on the NFL, but this is also a good time here based on the NBA. The season starts off in a week with three good games. The Wizards and Cavaliers, the Lakers and Mavericks, and also the marquee game of the night, the Heat finally getting their championship rings, and LeBron James finally getting his while they play against the Boston Celtics. What do you take out of those three games here, Rob?
I'm interested in seeing the Celtics because I think I personally have the Celtics. This is I know it's early, but this is my. I think the Celtics are going to win the East. If they stay injury free and they rotate the rookies in, so is I think Celtics is going to be better than Melo, but they rotate the rookies in, give KD breathing room, and I think Celtics is going to develop quickly because he has a great low-post game, and he has a great mind for the game. Although, people have had concerns over his back and all that, it's an 82-game season, so he'll find time to rest, he'll find time to get implemented to the system. I want to see the Celtics play because I think they have a great chance of coming out the East.
I think I'd like to see them play as well. I think they might have enough to really to contend with the Heat. You looked at them last year in the conference finals. They had a 3-2 lead, and everybody was thinking, "Wow, it's just exciting to see them get a chance to get up there as well." I think actually they actually improved their team a little bit.